Hello, my name is Cody Kellner, and I'll be talking to you today about an evaluation model for a week-long management training program. This model will evaluate the management training program for first-line supervisors at the Department of Veterans Affairs. The duration of this training program will be 1 week or 5 business days, and will meet for approximately 8 hours each day from 8:30 in the morning to 5 o'clock p.m. The instructors will consist of assistant service center managers, and human resource specialists. Therefore, the instructors will have a wide variety of experience and background to bring to this training program. The training will be centered around several leadership competencies that are essential to the VA, such as leading change, leading people, results-driven, global perspective, business acumen, and partnering. And the training course will take place in Baltimore, Maryland, at the VA Training Academy. In this slide, we'll look at the schedule for the week. Now, day 1 will start with a welcome from the training program director, followed by a pretest. Now, this pretest will cover topics such as emotional intelligence, equal employment, labor relations, employer relations, performance management. And a service center manager will take over as an instructor for the rest of the day, and they'll discuss executing and improving leadership styles. Day 2 will be focused on equal employment opportunity, and this will be presented by an EEO manager. Days 3 and 4, day 3 will start off with the topic of human resource management, labor relations, and employee relations. And this will be presented by an HR manager, and that's going to be for the first half. That will be for all of day 3 and the first half of day 4. Now, the last half of day 4 will begin covering performance management. And performance management will be the topic through the rest of the program. Now, day 5, again, we'll finish up on performance management. And then when we're done with that, the evaluator will give a post-test. Now, this post-test will have the exact same questions as the pre-test. Now, with level 1, we're going to focus on reaction. At the end of each day, the evaluator will give a survey in paper form to each participant to rate the instructor, content, external information, quality of the lesson, and the actual effectiveness of the instructor. So the evaluator understands that as the topics change during this program, so does the instructor. So it's always important to evaluate each instructor immediately after they have presented the material to the class. Now, this survey will be 21 questions in length, and the responses will be scored on a 1 to 5 scale. 1 represents strongly disagree, 5 represents strongly agree. Now, 4 additional questions will require comments for topics such as things that worked well, things that did not work well, how the information will be applied to their specific jobs, and if there are any hotel issues. So for example, if one of the training participants was having trouble getting into their rooms when they arrived maybe the day before into the city, this is an opportunity for them to express that. Or if they want a refrigerator in the room to where they can keep their snacks and beverages. Again, this will be an issue. This will be an opportunity for them to present this in the survey for the evaluator to take into consideration to improve the class or to improve the training program for next time. More on level 1 with reaction. Now, the evaluator will also give another survey to each participant at the conclusion of the training program. And this survey will consist of 10 questions. 2 will be regarding the participant's office location and their business line. 6 questions will be asked regarding to the satisfaction of the participant and their ability to access course material. These questions will be scored on a 1 to 5 scale, with 1 representing the lowest possible score and 5 representing the best possible score. 1 question will be scored on a 1 to 10 scale, and this is going to ask the participant if they will recommend this training program to their peers. And the final question will ask the participant about their final thoughts regarding the training program as a whole. Now, with level 2, we want to focus on how learning will be evaluated within the training program. Now, the evaluator will give a pre-test and a post-test to assess what the participants learned during this week-long training program. Now, the test will be 10 questions in length and given in paper format. It will be concluded that learning took place if the average post-test score is higher than the average pre-test score. Now, after the post-tests have been scored, each participant will be given a printout of their pre-test score and post-test score, along with the class average for both tests for comparison purposes. That way, each participant in the training program is able to see exactly what they scored and where they compare against the average student. Furthermore, the evaluator will also send a separate evaluation form to the supervisor of the program participant. This evaluation will consist of 5 open-ended questions regarding the participant's leadership abilities, reaction to disagreement, teamwork, multitasking, and giving constructive criticism. So again, in this level, not only do you get the perspective of the actual participant of the training program, but you also get the perspective of the supervisor of that participant. That way, the supervisor can provide feedback on how or if the participant had learned and was able to apply the material from the training program to situations back at their home office. Level 3 is going to focus on behavior in terms of how the participant's behavior had changed due to participating in the training program. Now again, this training program is focused to help the participants improve their leadership ability. So a capstone project is going to be assigned to each participant, and a survey will be given to them, and this needs to be completed 90 days from the end of the training program. And the topic of the capstone is to implement a new process at their home office. Now, the survey will ask specific questions about the presentation of their idea to local leadership and the implementation of the idea that the capstone is centered around. The participant supervisor will also complete a 6-question evaluation. Now, this supervisor will have to describe how the participant deals with conflict, multiple responsibilities, the participant's growth as a professional, serving as a positive example, and quality of work. So overall, the supervisor has to grade or has to evaluate the program participant basically on how much of a leader and how much of a positive influence they are to the home office. Level 4 is focused on results. Now, the results of the training program will focus on absenteeism and motivation of the participant. The evaluator will give a survey instrument to each participant, which consists of 9 questions scored on a 1 to 5 scale. 1 represents strongly disagree and 5 represents strongly agree. Now, these questions will focus on the participant's workplace morale. Now, 2 additional questions will be asked regarding the participant's amount of unplanned leave 3 months before and 3 months after the training program. Now, these questions will help identify if absenteeism has improved. One example might be if a participant said that, the 3 months leading up to the program that they took, let's say, for example, 20 hours of unplanned leave in those 3 months leading up to the training program. And then when they go through the week-long training program in Baltimore, they come back, and in the 3 months thereafter, let's say they only take 5 hours of unplanned leave. So, in that example, the employee went from a substantial number of unplanned leave hours to just a handful. So it would be safe to assume that the employee got the skills, got the information they need from that training program, and therefore improved as an individual, improved as a leader, and as a supervisor at their home office. And as a result, they feel more satisfied with their work, and they're at work more often. Now, that's going to conclude my presentation, but I will say, this has been an interesting assignment. I really liked working on it. I believe there is a lot of thought and time and energy it takes that needs to be put into these training programs and how the results need to be evaluated. It's one thing to get a group of people in a classroom and present topics, but it's another to actually evaluate it and see how effective it is. I've really enjoyed this class and this assignment in terms of breaking the training program down into various sections and finding ways to evaluate and see if the participants are actually learning the material and are actually able to apply the material to become better employees. I think this is something that's very useful for any organization, and I have really enjoyed this class, and I've enjoyed this topic, and I look forward to your questions and comments on Blackboard. Thank you again for your time.